everything was a struggle. And everything is a struggle. That struggle came from the internal struggle of not matching eye to eye. Let me tell you something, man. If you arguing with your wife or you arguing with your significant other, that kills everything else you got trying to move. You can't be, let you start waking up arguing with your wife and you got to go to work and deal with them folks. That ain't gonna work. I mean, listen, sometimes you can get an argument, it'll be so tough, it messed the rest of your day up. See what I'm saying? You can't have no strife between, how can two people that disagree fundamentally on something, how can they ever coexist? How is it that you can stay in a relationship and one person says, I don't want you? Have you ever tried to go to counseling where only one person want to stay in a marriage? Things did not work out too much well for you, right? Right? But it's something different when somebody tell you, you know what? I like you. I got faith in you. You know what? I see something in you. You know what? I know what they done told me, but I'm going to give you a shot.
Yeah, Two is definitely doing his thing. Shedeur Sanders is definitely doing his thing at Browns training camp. I think he has this quarterback competition in a stranglehold at this point. Deshaun Watson is stinking it up. He threw another 3 interceptions in one practice. He's up to 6 picks. Shedeur Sanders did throw his first interception today, but he also threw for 4 touchdowns.
And you know what I respect for this? You know what I respect more than anything? Because Todd Monken came to the table as a real man. And as a real man, he gave 2 individuals the opportunity. See, the problem I be having with a lot of y'all is y'all tried to put your thumb on the scale and act like you could talk your way out, talk people in and out of an opportunity and out of an opportunity. And what I respect about Todd Monken is he told you nothing. He said, listen, y'all can not like it, do whatever you want to. I don't care what you did last week, what somebody said why you failed, what the allegations were. I'm going to let both of y'all go out here on your own merits. And I'm going to give you a shot. See, in America, everybody love America until you got to stand by the principles that America is supposed to stand on, right? I thought we were supposed to be standing on everybody equal, and you get to prove yourself. No matter if somebody say you guilty of something, everybody just want a fair opportunity. And we done looked around for about 6 to 8 months, and everybody been trying to disqualify people based on what? He giving them the opportunity. Now, what they do with it is up to them. What you do with your opportunity is up to you. But I respect Todd Monken because he gave the opportunity. And when the pressure was on to name a quarterback, when the pressure was on to take another quarterback, when the pressure was on saying, go get you another quarterback in Sorsby and let's punt on the season, guess what they did? No.
Shedeur will take it with the ones tomorrow. You want your quarterbacks to work at their mastery of the offense to where it's QB driven, right? Their ability to signal and change routes and be in control of the offense. You'd like to at least start that way, be aggressive with your throws, and then let's kind of reel it back in. I don't want to throw any interceptions, so that's not what I'm getting at. Never going to become QB driven or controlled if you don't allow them to change plays at the line of scrimmage, if you don't allow them to get you in a premium play, if you don't allow them to take chances with the ball. And when that happens, you have to coach them, right? You can't, when they make certain decisions, you can't get after them, you can't poo-poo it, you can't MF them, because then they won't do it anymore. Then they're going to stop, just like all of us would, right? You make a mistake and you get dog cussed over it, then you're like, well, then you basically go into a shell. I don't want our quarterbacks to go into a shell. Right. Now they can't sure as hell lose us the game, for God's sake.
The mental makeup that separates good from great. Before anyone talks about touchdowns or target distribution or arm strength, the most important thing Shedeur Sanders did in this practice was how he responded to his first interception of camp. He threw it, he made a mistake, and then he kept attacking. That might sound simple, but it is genuinely one of the hardest things for a young quarterback to do in a competitive environment. The moment a quarterback throws an interception during a training camp battle, every eye on that practice field shifts in his direction. Coaches are watching, the front office is watching, teammates are watching. The natural human response, especially for someone trying to hold onto an opportunity, is to pull back, start throwing to the safe option. Stop pushing the ball downfield, start protecting the completion percentage instead of generating offense. Sanders did not do any of that. He got back in the huddle and kept throwing with the same intent he had before the turnover. He did not abandon his deep targets. He did not stop trusting his reads. He finished the session with 4 touchdowns and a performance that looked nothing like a quarterback rattled by pressure. That kind of response tells a coaching staff something that no combine measurement can capture. You can teach a quarterback to read a cover 2 shell. You can install route concepts and protection adjustments. What you cannot coach is the mental reset, the ability to separate one bad play from the next snap and continue competing without flinching. Sanders demonstrated that he has it, and that matters just as much as every completion he threw. Compare that to Watson's situation. He also threw touchdowns in this practice, and that is worth acknowledging because the complete picture always matters. But when a quarterback is already carrying 5 previous camp interceptions heading into a session, and then adds 3 more, the conversation naturally shifts from evaluating individual plays to examining whether a pattern exists. Watson is not struggling because of one unlucky bounce. The volume of turnovers is the story now, and no amount of veteran credibility can fully insulate a quarterback from that. Shedeur and Jerry Jeudy, chemistry that is starting to click at the right time. One of the most important subplots inside this broader quarterback competition is which passer is building real working chemistry with Cleveland's top receiving options. And based on the latest practice, Sanders is winning that race with Jerry Jeudy in convincing fashion. Jeudy is not just a name on the depth chart. He is supposed to be one of the primary weapons in Cleveland's offense, a receiver with the footwork, route precision, and separation ability to create consistent opportunities in almost any scheme. But none of that talent produces points unless the quarterback can identify his windows early and deliver the football before coverage closes. Sanders connected with Jeudy twice for touchdowns in this practice, and the more important detail is how those throws were made. He was not waiting for Jeudy to be completely open before releasing the ball. He was throwing with anticipation, trusting the route design, and delivering the pass to spots where Jeudy's athleticism could finish the play. That is a major developmental step for any young quarterback, because anticipation throwing requires genuine belief in both the scheme and the receiver. When a quarterback anticipates correctly, 2 things happen simultaneously. The first is obvious. The completion gains more yards because the ball arrives before the coverage can recover. The second is less discussed. The receiver's confidence in that quarterback grows because he knows the ball is going to be there when he expects it. Timing is everything in this game, and 2 touchdown completions with Jeudy suggest that Sanders and his top target are beginning to synchronize in ways that go beyond a single practice. Jeudy has faced criticism throughout his career for inconsistency with dropped passes, but during this practice, he secured the football and helped his quarterback build momentum. That is exactly what Cleveland needs from the pairing, not a receiver and quarterback who are simply coexisting, but 2 players who are actively elevating each other's performance. For Shedeur, those touchdown throws also demonstrate something coaches evaluate heavily, the ability to use a specific receiver's skill set correctly. Jeudy is a precision route runner who wins with quickness and separation. Sanders used him in the interior of the field and in scoring situations where Jeudy's ability to find quick openings is most valuable. He did not force Jeudy into situations designed for a completely different type of receiver. He matched the scheme to the talent, and the result was points on the board. Denzel Boston is becoming a real problem, and Sanders knows it. If the Jeudy connection showed Sanders working within the offense with precision, the deep throws to Denzel Boston showed something else entirely. A quarterback willing to redefine what Cleveland's passing game can look like at its ceiling. Boston has been drawing attention throughout training camp for reasons that go beyond his measurable physical traits. He is a large target who can do something physically difficult, compete for footballs in tight coverage, and consistently win at the catch point. Cornerbacks cannot simply give a receiver a cushion and trust that the angle will protect them against Boston. He will attack the football above them, use his frame to eliminate their positioning advantage, and finish catches in situations where smaller receivers would simply be out-muscled. What makes that physical profile truly dangerous is a quarterback willing to put the ball in the spots where Boston's size actually becomes a weapon. Sanders passed that test in this practice. He was not throwing to Boston only when the coverage had completely broken down. He was identifying the matchup advantage, making a decision with confidence, and releasing the ball into the space where Boston could compete. That is a meaningful distinction, because it shows that Sanders trusts the throw, not just the receiver. Deep passes require multiple things to happen correctly at the same time. The quarterback must diagnose the coverage and identify the right target. He must time the release to match the receiver's route and speed. He must throw with enough distance, but also with touch, placing the ball where the receiver can track it without running into the defender. And he must make that entire calculation within a window that often lasts less than 2 seconds after dropping back. Sanders showed the ability to do all of that with Boston in this practice, and the result was not just exciting film, it was a demonstration that Cleveland's vertical passing game could be something defenses genuinely have to prepare for. When a defense knows it has to respect the possibility of a deep shot to a receiver with Boston's physical profile, the entire coverage structure changes. Safeties cannot commit to stopping the run as aggressively. Cornerbacks cannot be as physical at the line. Linebackers have to consider what is developing behind them before attacking routes underneath. That opens up everything else. Jeudy gains more room to work short and intermediate. Tight ends can find space in the middle of the field. Running backs coming out of the backfield face lighter attention from linebackers who are already stretched. The deep ball is not just an exciting play, it is the mechanism that makes an entire offense less predictable and more dangerous at every level. Sanders is already showing that he understands how to use both weapons in complementary ways. Boston stretches the top of the coverage. Jeudy attacks the interior. The quarterback who can operate both options within the same practice session is the quarterback who gives an offense its highest ceiling. Watson's interception problem is no longer a side story. Let's address the other side of this competition directly, because a fair evaluation requires looking at both quarterbacks without dismissing what Watson is going through. Watson's talent is not the question. He has a powerful arm, he can move through progressions, and he produced 3 touchdowns in this same practice. The issue is not that Watson cannot generate offense. The issue is that his turnovers are now reaching a frequency that creates a separate and significant problem beyond any individual play. 6 interceptions through this stage of camp is a number the coaching staff cannot evaluate in a vacuum. Every turnover ends a possession. Every ended possession is a missed opportunity to score. In the regular season, 3 turnovers in a single game can be the difference between winning and losing regardless of how many touchdowns the quarterback also throws. That reality does not disappear in training camp evaluations. If anything, coaches use these reps to identify exactly which tendencies they are going to see when the games count. The question surrounding Watson's interceptions is not whether any single throw can be explained or excused. Of course, individual plays have context, but when the pattern continues across multiple sessions, the context of individual plays becomes less important than the overall picture. Is he misidentifying coverage? Is he forcing throws when the first option disappears? Is there a disconnect in timing with his receivers that is causing balls to arrive in dangerous locations? Those are football questions that the Browns staff has to answer, and they become harder to dismiss when the quarterback on the other sideline of this competition is producing touchdowns, winning downfield battles, and recovering from his own singular mistake without pulling back. The contrast in this latest session was stark. Watson threw touchdowns and interceptions in roughly equal numbers. Sanders threw 4 touchdowns and 1 interception. Watson is the veteran with years of NFL experience that was supposed to give him a command advantage. Sanders is the rookie who was supposed to be learning on the fly, but the results are not reflecting that expected hierarchy, and that gap is becoming the central story of Brown's training camp. Todd Monken gave both quarterbacks a real opportunity, and Sanders is taking it. One of the more admirable aspects of how this competition has been structured is that head coach Todd Monken entered camp committed to letting both quarterbacks earn the job through performance rather than predetermined assumptions. That is how it should work. The better player should start, regardless of contract size, draft position, or reputation. What makes Sanders' camp performance so compelling within that framework is that he is not just outperforming expectations, he is outperforming Watson in the categories that matter most when coaches evaluate who gives the offense the best chance to win real games: touchdown production, deep ball accuracy, chemistry with the top receivers, mental recovery after mistakes, the ability to keep the defense guessing. Watson still has time and opportunity to reverse the momentum. Training camp is not over. Preseason games will carry their own evaluations, and everything can shift before the regular season begins. But momentum in a competition like this tends to compound. Every practice where Sanders creates touchdowns and Watson creates turnovers, the burden of proof shifts a little more. Every deep completion to Boston, every end zone connection with Jeudy, every moment where Sanders refuses to go into his shell after a mistake, these things accumulate. The question the Browns staff will eventually have to answer is no longer about potential. It is about which quarterback makes this offense look most dangerous right now, while also protecting the football at a rate that gives Cleveland a realistic chance to win. Sanders is not perfect. He made a mistake in this practice, but his response to that mistake, and the production surrounding it, is exactly the kind of film that changes the conversation in a quarterback competition. Shedeur Sanders is not winning this quarterback battle with hype. He is not winning it because of his name or his father's legacy or anything that happens off the practice field. He is winning it, and at this stage, it is fair to say he holds the advantage because he is showing up in competitive practice sessions and making an NFL offense look better. 4 touchdowns in a single practice, 2 scoring connections with Jerry Jeudy, multiple downfield shots to Denzel Boston that challenged the defense vertically, 1 interception followed immediately by more aggressive, confident football. These are not small details. They are the building blocks of a legitimate starting quarterback argument, and Sanders is stacking them up one practice at a time. Watson's path back into this competition runs directly through the turnover numbers. The arm talent is there, the experience is there, but 6 camp interceptions and counting represent a real obstacle, and the coaching staff cannot overlook what that pattern suggests about decision-making under pressure. Cleveland might not officially announce a winner in this competition for weeks, but the film does not lie. The chemistry Sanders is building with Jeudy and Boston is real, the mentality he is showing after adversity is real, and the pressure on Deshaun Watson is absolutely real. The Browns may have come into this camp expecting the veteran to close the door quickly. Instead, Shedeur Sanders kicked it open wider with every single touchdown throw, and he is not slowing down. That is the breakdown right here on a Sports Zone USA, where we bring you the analysis that goes deeper than the headlines and gives you the real story behind what you are watching. If you are locked in on this Browns quarterback battle and want to catch every update as this competition heats up, hit that subscribe button right now and turn on your notifications so you never miss a video. Drop a comment below and let us know, is Shedeur Sanders already the starter in your eyes, or does Deshaun Watson still have a real shot to take this job back? And if you want to weigh in on the receiving core, tell us which connection excites you more right now, Shedeur-to-Jeudy or Shedeur to Boston. Like this video, share it with your sports crew, and stay right here on a Sports Zone USA, because this story is only getting bigger from here.